with his whiskey. He's so excited.
Warning. This program is intended for adults of legal drinking age. Whiskey is consumed and discussed. The intent is to educate our palates on the differences of whiskey flavors and not an intent to get drunk. Please drink responsibly. Whiskey flavors and not an intent to get drunk.
Everybody! Hi, my name's Andrew Pierce, and I have something that I'm fond of. Hi, my name's Andrew. Fucking love whiskey. And welcome to the show, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
My co-host down here, Mr. Joseph Limbaugh.
Oh my God. That is me. I am Joseph Limbaugh, and I have a very serious confession to make. And that is that I fucking love whiskey. Yes, it is true. And we have a wonderful guest today, our friend Monique.
Yay, Monique!
Who's amazing. Often is in the chat as well. I don't know. We'll see how she feels about whiskey.
I don't know. I feel like I have this confession I have to make. It's been burdening me for a while. I fucking love Glen Scotia.
Oh, wow. A twist.
There we go.
It was a twist.
I also, this might be telling tales out of school, but Monique, you have a completely separate structure on your property, which is your whiskey library. Like mine is here on the wall. Yours is in a completely separlike
to be fair, it's like having a man cave, but it's like a Monique whiskey cave. It's like it's not like it's a silo or like or she bought another. Oh, okay, Bowie, he's going up there. He's like, I'm talking. He doesn't like it when I talk. Yeah, so I've been there and it's very delightful, and I want to support her whiskey compound.
Listen, that I was not meaning to denigrate it in any way. I'm just super impressed. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Hey, so Monique was nice enough to say, hey, why don't we do a show that has the Glen Scotia Festival malts since 2018. 23 is not available just yet, so we're just going to stop at 22. But we're going to go through 5 of them from 2018 through 2022 in order. And that's not necessarily ABV order, but it's in order of, chronology.
Chronology. We're going in chronology order.
Did I say it wrong?
That was the overriding OCD urge, was chronological over ABV. So there it is.
We're going to have some whiskey.
We're going to have some whiskey. So approximate times, I believe, are in the corner down there. About every 15 minutes or so, we're going to go through.
And we're doing 5 whiskeys today.
Doing 5 whiskeys today. Because, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. That's how it works.
Because that's how many fingers Andrew has.
That's how many fingers I have. Hey, let's start with the first one. Monique, can you hold up the bottle? I don't have it here. This is a Glen Scotia. It's a 10-year-old malts festival from 2018. One of 2,400 bottles they produced. 57.8%. First fill bourbon, and then ruby port finish for 6 months. Look at that. Yeah.
So right away, this smells to me. I'm
you went totally out of focus.
Oh,
is it gonna...
So quickly, that's usually the end of the show.
Not that much to drink yet.
Wow. It's not fixing either. What's going on? Come on, robot. I'm back here, robot.
Use your nose.
Oh, well, I don't.
That just might be how we see you.
Wonder if there's
this nose. This is a saddle, a sweaty. The horse has been ridden hard, and you're just taking the saddle off, and it's that odor. I think.
I see the leather notes, and yeah, there was something in the neighborhood of like a pine resin, but it wasn't quite. But like a clean sweat would work there. All right. I also get kind of a cocoa powder underneath all of that.
This smells like ribbon candy to me.
Oh yeah, cocoa powder, ribbon candy.
But yeah, cocoa powder. I could smell that too. Yeah.
Very nice.
It does kind of have a pina colada sort of thing going on.
Yeah, it's very nice.
If you like Glen Scotia
and getting caught in the rain.
Yeah, it's like a powdery
Campbeltown.
I think Monique already tasted it.
Oh shit, I cheated.
You
There's no cheating.
No cheating.
How dare you cheat? You're gonna know the flavor before we do.
How dare you enjoy whiskey? How dare you?
Here's why. it's because I fucking love whiskey, and I just wanted to get right to it. So
Yeah, that's understandable.
All right, I'm gonna taste it too.
but the first note I got, I think, Joseph, because you mentioned something, and I think I'm susceptible just to suggestion. Grilled pineapple.
Oh,
Subtle, not in your face, but there's a pineapple note in here.
the nose is
Yeah.
very flowery to me. Like it's like it's like flowers from fruit. Like if fruit is blooming or blossoming, then it's because it's kind of like a fruity, flowery.
This is a very dry finish.
And it does smell tropical. Yeah, the taste is very different than the nose, I find.
Yeah. And the finish just kind of stays in the front. It doesn't really explore too much yet.
It's all going up my nose. Like it's quite hot, and it's like it is heat going up my nose. And the flavor is more savory than you would expect from the nose.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because when I go to smell it, I'm like, it smells like a different whiskey than the one I just tasted. What is this?
Oh, it's yummy though.
Oh, we're starting off with a 57%. I guess
We're starting at 57. We're starting a little hot, but
coming in hot. Because we normally in the show we always go percentage, but so this is
ABV.
Yeah,
it's a little bit unusual for us. Yeah.
Yeah. We can handle it. We're professionals.
I've got a little bit of 43% left. I'll kind of rinse between this and number 19.
Oh, you're gonna like sip him. Oh, you're gonna refresh the palate. That's smart.
between when we move over to the next whiskey.
Maybe I should do that too.
You can do that too.
You just need a little mouthful, but don't do it right now. We're not quite done.
Well, I've got to prep it. You got to
prep it. Yeah. You don't want to surprise the whiskey. You want it to be ready for you.
I don't want to surprise the whiskey because I fucking love whiskey, and I don't want to hurt. I don't want to hurt it. I don't want to hurt it.
What does Matt think about this?
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. It's delicious. It definitely to me doesn't feel like a almost 58% whiskey out of this. For me on the nose, for me it was more like more airy, kind of like being in a hayfield, but like not a good kind of hayfield. It's like one that you kind of have allergies to, and it tickles the nose. And then like there's some sugary things in there, but for me, instead of like cocoa powder or like ribbon candy, for me it was like blue cotton candy that like came fresh out of the stand, right? Like you just took it from the purveyor's like hand on that paper cone, yeah,
right,
and you shove it in your mouth.
I do feel like when I smell it, it's like I'm smelling something carbonated.
Yeah,
even though it's not. It smells fizzy. If that makes any sense.
Carbonated oxygen.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And on the palate, I think the carbonation like carries through. Like it's very velvety for my mouth. And I get more like sprightly, slightly fermented like white fruits, like apples and pears and all of that. And like I don't know how to describe it, but it tastes like hard candied sugar, but without the additional flavors added to it. So it's not caramel, but it's like a clear hard candied sugar, like pearl that you just kind of just suck on for the sugar.
A rock candy stick you would sweeten a hot beverage with.
Yeah, kind of like that.
The flavor right now kind of reminds me of suede too, a little bit.
Yeah, that's that velvety texture, especially in the finish where it's so dry.
Yeah, it is kind of the texture as well as the flavor, but there's like a leathery, but it's not like leather. It's like, I would say it's like suede,
Well, I don't mean to do this, but suede is a type of leather.
It is, but it's a specific type of leather that's been worked.
You meant to do that.
To me, in my mind, it's like softer. Like, I mean, I meant suede.
Yeah, he meant suede.
Yeah, I do.
Isn't suede the interior that's kind of napped and brushed? Is that not the distinction with suede?
But I'm not sure if
it's not top or full grain. And so genuine leather can range anywhere from like the best grade to the worst grade, and suede is typically the worst grade.
Although
To me,
they also
suede
gray.
smells different than regular leather does. I mean, maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like it has like I don't know. Just
Yeah,
I don't think it smells
right.
the same.
They wouldn't
Yeah,
oil
yeah.
it the same.
Yeah,
Are the
it's,
three of
it's
us now just learning about Thad's tanning hobby?
Yeah. Yeah. You don't know about Thad's podcast? I fucking love leather.
I didn't
I
think
do
It's
love
not what you'd expect. It's a lot of
not.
people.
It's
A lot of
yeah.
people go in and they're like, "Hey, this is not what I wanted."
Yeah, but he's making good money on his OnlyFans site.
mhm.
so Thad can retire.
Leather chaps, as far as you can see.
I guess we should put
Partially-
some water in this.
That's all
right?
you see, percent. Yeah. Well, I've got my Campbelltown water here.
I've got my
I'm gonna
Campbelltown
add
water.
Campbelltown water in.
Yeah,
Let's go, Campbelltown water.
Oh, you're sciencing it?
Yeah.
I'm sciencing it.
No science. It's 57%, so I might as well.
Let us see what goes on, because we know Thad's going to science it too.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait.
I think some of the sweetness in the nose is diminished. You get a lot more of that leathery pineapple.
Yeah, it definitely has more. It has more of those savory notes. I kind of like it though.
Really?
I like the less sweetness in the nose.
It's a little bit closer to the taste now in the nose. That's what I would say.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
and it's not
science it.
carbonated anymore. You gotta represent. You gotta.
Oh. Any interesting little horking noises that you hear in the background? Is my cat? It's not me.
Sure. Mhm.
He just sneezed.
I feel like it's has more heat.
It's got more heat.
That's so weird when it does that. You put water in it, it's like, now I'm burning the mold. It's like, how?
The alcohol is like, finally, I'm free. I'm free.
Seriously.
Is it possible for the nose to get drier? Because now it smells really dry. Very dry.
I would say that's true. Yeah.
I say that's what happened. Yeah, the sweetness went away, and all this dryness that you get in the taste and the finish comes out of it.
Hmm.
If there's a way, I'm sure there is. I should figure out a way to like put this through to my other streaming channel so that it's like you showcase someone or something like that. I don't really know how it works, but there's a way to do it.
Yeah. There's a word for
this
it.
show is on. It's on my channel.
Your channel as well. Yes, there's a way to do that, and I can't remember the words to make it happen.
I remember the words. I fucking love whiskey. Those are the words.
Yeah.
You know what? It's almost 5:15, so which means we're probably
Oh.
to
Yeah,
Monique's
no,
favorite whiskey of all
like-
time.
Oh, pretty close.
It's definitely quieter.
Yeah,
It is,
I'm not
except for
sure.
the burn.
Yeah, the finish feels just about the same to me.
It gets rid of
water-
the carbonation.
A little hotter.
A
Unfinished.
little hotter.
Not enough about it with the.
Well, Thad, before we move on, do you have any notes on with water?
It's all right. I wouldn't do it again, but I wouldn't say don't do it.
Right.
For me, it killed off the notes. I could definitely agree with that. It got drier. Like more cereal notes came out for me. Instead of like being in hay field, you're on a pile of dry hay instead of actually in the field. And for me, I wouldn't say it got hotter for me. It just got more lively, and that just overpowered any subtle note. So it was just kind of just alive in the mouth, but like there was no flavor there for me. It was just kind of like, I'm here.
Yeah. Good description. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't kill it. It didn't go to a bad place. It just.
Yeah. I liked what it did to the nose, though. I will say that. But I'm not a huge fan of what it did to the taste.
Yeah. I feel in the nose.
But I didn't love
honest.
the taste before. I'll be honest. I didn't like, this tastes amazing. Like the nose to me was the best part of it. And so making the nose better was kind of cool.
It's certainly not my favorite Malts Festival expression.
No, but this one just might be. This is the 2019 release. This is a
Gonna make me blurry again.
15-year-old, one of 9,500, and I think we've almost got 500 of them between us. 51.3% Campbelltown ex-Bourbon, ex-Demerera, Demerera?
What is that?
Rum.
What is a Demerara? It's a type of
It's
rum.
like Guyana rum.
Yeah, it makes rum.
But
Guyana
8
rum? What's
years
Guyana?
or 8 months finished in this of the 15 years old that it is. This was the very last bottle that Joseph and I sampled together before the pandemic lockdown. So it holds a special place, and especially it's really good.
We drank that. We drank almost the entire bottle. There's three of us, and we played the Untitled Goose Game. And we would trade off when we got frustrated. It was a great night. And then we went into the pandemic, and we didn't see anybody for years.
For years, yeah. You were the last folks I saw. I slept on your floor. I was not going anywhere. I wasn't even getting in an Uber. I was just not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And we started doing the show over Zoom, which I kind of like actually doing it over Zoom.
I mean, it's easier. You don't have to worry about getting home. How do you find the Uber and doing all that safe stuff. And
there it is. There it is.
It's also one of my favorites too. So I've gone for the Glen Scotia glass for this.
How pretty.
This is just like leather and pine on the nose. Like it smells like what you think a fancy pirate ship would smell like. Like, the gentleman pirate, this is what his ship smells like. So, not the Our Flag Means Death, like caricature of him, but the actual one. Historical.
Was there one?
Yeah, that's based on a real person. I mean, I like that show, but it's not. I don't think it's. I don't know how real it is.
Are you saying it smells really sweaty and unwashed?
No, it's a gentleman pirate. So if you're in just the captain's cabin, it's
okay.
It's like tar. It smells like I smell a little bit of tar stuff you'd find on a ship. Woven ropes, leather, pine. The ship's made out of pine. Or there's freshly cut pine.
There's a lot of salty brine around.
Salty brine.
Where did you get that? Monique, I'm sorry.
Old hardware store. There's like old wood, there's a bit of dust, there's something,
some oil, varnish
in the bin that have been oiled.
It's delightful. I'm going in.
I'm waiting a minute. This one always makes me wish my lungs were bigger.
Oh my.
Now that tastes like fresh sawdust on the playground to me. That's what it tastes like. But with all of that wonder of being a child, and you smell the fresh sawdust and you think about playing, and it evokes all of that. It's not just like a smell. It's like, yes, I'm free from school and whatever others, I can play. It's like, it's just, yeah. Or you're like a cowboy town at Knott's Berry Farm or Disneyland or the Enchanted Forest, which is in Oregon. I don't know. It just has it evokes those sorts of smells to me.
Leather, cedar.
Yeah.
And and this is a case too that I agree with Joseph, is that you nose it, you take that first sip and you go back to nosing it, and the nose you get so much more out of it.
It blows up. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I wish I had bigger lungs and a bigger nose. I wish my nose was bigger.
It's strange. I just wish my whiskey collection was bigger.
If it was all this bottle, I would be okay with it. If I had 100, copies of this bottle.
Like Monique does. Yeah.
Such a good whiskey.
To my eternal chagrin, I don't remember the very first time I had this, but what I do remember is that the first time I nosed it, I was standing in the entry hall to my grandmother's house. It was a Saturday in the winter. She was making beef stew way in the back in the kitchen. And every time, in addition to everything else that you get out of this nose, I'm at my grandmother's house. A very happy place.
That's nice. I have residual memory of the first time we tasted this, which was in actuality at the UBWS bar. And the next morning I got up and I looked at my K&L cart and I had 3 bottles in there. And Kolya was like, how do I have 3 bottles? And you had, like, everybody had gotten multiple bottles of it because it was so good.
Yeah, mine was when we had before the pandemic. That was the first time that I ever had it. Yeah, and I think I also bought a bottle as well.
It was just a few months after that I came over to your house with it because I thought it was so good.
Yeah, I think I also had a bottle. Like I think I bought one and I drank it. It's gone. During the pandemic,
happens.
That was necessary. That was necessary to drink.
This is my favorite whiskey.
Yeah.
I fucking love whiskey. I fucking love this whiskey.
This is definitely one where I'm like, I don't want to put water in this. I don't think I've ever had this with water, and I don't want to put water in it. I'm scared. There's some magical stuff going on in here. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to fuck it up.
I'm going to be a really bad guest and not science it.
Yeah,
no, that's not a bad guess. You don't have to. You never have to. Science. That is the rule of the show. You never have to.
No.
And there's so.
Yeah, he's got a weird compulsion, but Joseph and I often will not do it. Is that wrong, Thad? Is it not a weird compulsion? It's a need to do science on it. It's a need to be complete on your evaluation.
I mean, it depends on how you really define compulsion, but I like figuring things out and I like doing things. Right? Like it's like would my life be thrown into turmoil if I didn't put water in whiskey? No, it wouldn't be. So it's not like that type of compulsion, but more or less of like I'm curious, right? It's kind of like putting hot sauce on cake because you want to see if that goes together, or kimchi and ice cream because you're curious to see if that will go together, right?
Okay.
Like, do I have to do it? Probably not. Will it kill me if I don't do it? Absolutely not. But do I want to do it? Of course.
Right. You need to know.
Yeah.
How do you know unless you do the
at least once?
Yeah. Hot sauce on cake. No, I've never even remotely thought.
So it actually works well for like chocolate-based cakes because, well, chocolate and spice, right?
Chocolate and spice,
like,
that works.
That makes sense, yeah.
But like when you start getting to like strawberries, like a strawberry cake or like a pineapple cake, that's when it kind of it's like it's not bad, but like it's not.
So you've had a lot of experience putting hot sauce on cake. Then you have a lot of data points in that category.
Dad makes his own hot sauce. I've had it. It's pretty freaking amazing.
It's really good, yeah.
I imagine Dad would make a lovely hot sauce that would complement whatever cake you're putting it on.
Yeah, that's a good with like flavors.
Yeah,
it's because I gotta know. Gotta know.
So I feel okay saying he has a weird.
It's even more science. It's more science. It's more reason to call it science. It's like I must know.
Yeah. How do you know unless you try? I get that. But you know what? Sometimes I just don't want to try. Like this, I don't want to try.
Yeah, there's no polluting this.
Now, once again, Thad might try it and be like, and I have you ever scienced this, Andrew or Monique? Have either of you done it?
Can't recall having done so, no.
Maybe it'll make it amazing. I mean, chances are it's not going to do that, but maybe it will. It is funny to me, like the kind of like I don't know, people who are like Scotch snobs, so to speak, and the quote unquote, like they're like, you must always put a drop of spring water. You must always do it. Like I feel like.
Always reduce it to 15%. Just like put a bunch of water in there. It's like, no, I don't think you have to.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
That cup of water that's been harvested from a pool that's been having the full moon shone on it at midnight on a Tuesday. Wow. Yeah. No. Yeah. Does it taste good? Yes. I'll drink it. I realize my standards are very low, but.
Thad, did you have any tasting notes for this bad boy? You've had this before as well, right? I mean, I'm sure you have.
Yeah. I believe I've had this one before. And I do have some tasting notes. On the nose for me, right off the back, it reminded me of like walking into a workshop that's just full of sawdust. It's not all organized. It's clearly someone's there's working. You got wood stain in the corner, cedar, cabinet is half built, you know, that type of deal. And then a little bit past that, the nose was quite savory for me. Something like a nice pork that's just been like cooking for like 4 to 6 hours that day, you know, and you like walk into your house and you're like, oh yeah, I know what I'm gonna have to eat tonight. Then there were a couple sweet notes for me, but the closest I could get was something like yellow cake. Something like a spongy yellow cake, like nothing too sweet, but like it's still a dessert to be enjoyed. For the palate for me, it was slightly bitter. I got some like red grapes in there, and it reminded me of like running river water that you like drink out of. Like you're drinking actually out of the water. The river itself. And it's very, very smooth. And then the finish for me, like the grapes turned from red grapes to white grapes and green olives came back. So like like the salty, briny stuff that you all get, and it definitely hits me on the finish.
I get that.
As far as water goes, I'd definitely try it again. I don't hate it. It does completely kill off any like woody, like sawdust notes for me on the nose. And the savory stuff, and it just pulls it straight into the sweet land where like I was getting like vanilla pudding and custard, like just in there. And then on the palate, it took it from if you love medicinal stuff, like I was getting a lot of medicinal stuff. Like it reminded me of bandages, anise, and like just like a cool medicinal spice on the palate for me. So I can't say I would say do it if you absolutely love it the way it is, because it will probably change it in a way that you don't want this whiskey to be. But you know, it's not bad
so
with water either.
Perfect, you know, the way it is. Like
it's so good.
Perfect.
Mo joined at just the right time talking about yellow cake. I think maybe Mo was concerned that you were talking about the nuclear yellow cake because, you know, you want to experiment with all the foods you eat. I can't put it past you that you might have like just gone, just let me give it a bite.
Put a little hot sauce on plutonium and it's delicious.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Real spicy.
Oh, this is so good. You guys?
Mm.
I fucking love whiskey.
Mm.
Me too. Oh, it's almost
I'm not going to
5:30.
try with water. I'm not going to try it.
I'm not
it's
gonna
time
either.
to go on.
I'm sad that it's time to go on,
But we have a schedule to keep, people. This train has to run on time.
Choo choo.
Choo-choo-choo.
Chugga 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 chugga.
Here we go. The 2020 edition here. This is a 14-year-old Campbeltown Malts Festival. One of 15,000 they produced, 52.8% Campbeltown American oak casks, and then Tawny port to finish. And I didn't find anywhere online where it told us how many months it was in the Tawny port, but usually it's about 5 or 6 months they put it into. For
Tawny Catan port.
Tawny port. Tawny Canadian port.
I'm glad that Lemieux got that.
So, yeah.
It was an 80s reference, yeah.
Let's go. Yeah.
Wow, I like it, but after that last one, it's like it is. You know, I'm gonna have a little sip of this up. I'm just gonna clear myself.
Let's get through it. Yeah. The nose feels a little shy
and round.
Yeah, it's got a.
It's
smells like a workshop in there, like a clay, like an art workshop, like clay or
clay workshop. Yeah, so it's not a lot of odor, but you know it's that wet clay smell.
That's
minerals,
or crayons,
minerals,
maybe.
Yeah.
Like
love a crayon note.
Yeah.
The waxy crayon.
Or if you go into an art store, it kind of has this smell.
But like a waxy crayon, not like a Klein Leash milk carton wax.
Yeah.
No.
And now underneath that, there's like a. I want to say like ivy or like something leafy growing on a wall.
Yeah, that's it. It's nice, almost a mint leaf or something.
Yeah, I can see that. It's really in there. You really got to like get in there to find it, though. but I like it. I kind of like the digging down into it to find this could end up being my favorite whiskey. We'll see.
Wow.
For me, it's like the second nose after I first sip it, or the nose right after I
first nose
sip
after
it.
you sip it.
That's when I know.
And this one right away, I think maybe water will help open.
Could be.
So I'm kind of planning ahead that I'm probably putting water in this.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So you guys ever get, like, back when vinyl was a big thing, you would get an album and open it and you would smell that fresh pressed vinyl? That's one of the notes I get.
Oh yeah. This does actually kind of smell like plastic, like
yeah, and not in a bad way. It has it's nice. I like it.
In a nostalgic way. I used to have this toy that was like these little dinosaurs that they came in like cubes, and you would like melt them and then they would turn into dinosaurs. I don't remember exactly how it worked, and then you would heat them up again and they would turn back into cubes. I know that this toy existed, but this reminds me of it. Or like I had another one where you would like mix together like rubbery plastic things and put them in forms and make these little creatures. Like there's a lot of weird toys like that.
Bugs and worms. I remember that.
Yes, yeah.
There was one that you it was basically balloons or bubbles in a tube. Like you could take a dab at the end of it.
And it was like psychedelic in color, right?
Yeah. But like that smell was overpowering, but like if you distilled it down to like a really nice moderate, it's in there.
All right, let's we should sip
this. I'm liking this one. We're all so quiet, delights me at that point, because I know it's like this is good. This is what oh that's chocolate. I've just had something.
It does seem like a chocolate chip cookie, but with the big chunks of dark chocolate instead of like just chocolate chips. Like it's huge, huge chunks of it. A little
bit of tartness underneath it. Maybe it's chocolate covered rhubarb, not strawberry.
Or like dark chocolate covered like orange peels. Or orange slices, like the candy. But I feel like it's not sweet enough quite for that. Like it also like the dusting, like it's a dusting of dark chocolate kind of,
Yeah, I'd go for like mint chocolate chip. That's where I'm headed towards.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to say this is my favorite whiskey. Like, I know that if I hadn't had the one I just had, I wouldn't be doubting that. This is definitely an amazing whiskey. It's just like that last one was so good that I know if I had this one before that, I would have absolutely said this is my favorite whiskey. It is interesting because I've been thinking more about how, you taste things in a certain order and how it changes. And we were just talking about that earlier today. It's really interesting, man. Like even this little like interim that I have here, which is the Scotia from
Scotia.
Yeah, thank you. From Trader Joe's. Like it's really good. Like when I use it had it for the warm up, it was like I like it. That's why that bottle's almost empty. But like it's very smoky when I do it for the interim. Like I'm noticing a lot of stuff I didn't notice before.
Well, Glen Scotia, when they do peat their whiskey, is about 15 parts per million, which is one of the lower peatings that they distillery.
It's a very polite peat.
Yeah, it's just it's a hint.
I mean, I love peat, but I am starting to, I think, really appreciate more of the like light peating, where it's like it's there and you like it, but I'm going to leave some of those other flavors so we're not overpowering.
There are some days that I really do want to just be overwhelmed by a lot of amazing medicinal and smoky goodness, but other days I just want some subtleties.
Yeah.
What are you pointing at? Wait, what?
I'm just pointing to my little peat bogs over here.
Thad, what are your thoughts?
Yeah,
Fucking love
I really like.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I really like this one.
Yeah.
For me, on the nose, I was getting dry pasta, some freshly printed paper, and the greenery for me was wet grass. On the nose for me. The palate, I just tasted it. It's very lively and bubbly in my mouth. But I definitely get some like orange peels along there. Then some citrus candy, I guess, is the best way to explain it. Sweet and sour. There we go. It's like both sweet
Like
and
orange,
sour. All at
orange
once.
Altoids, orange sour Altoids. This kind
Yeah.
of reminds me of.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah. The sourness definitely comes through in the finish. It's right here on my tongue doing this.
yeah.
This seems carbonated as well, more in the flavor than the nose, but this does also seem kind of fizzy.
I will say
almost
with
like
water, it brings out a more, it takes the waxiness from a box of crayons to a milk carton.
Do you like it?
Okay.
Should we try it?
I've only nosed it. I don't mind the nose. I like the change. Do it.
I said I was going to do it. I'm going to do it. With my Campbeltown water.
Andrew, you were saying you enjoy that moment when we first sip and we're all just sitting there quietly. I have been trying more on the show to like really hold it in my mouth as long as possible and chew it up, which is great. So great.
Just flavors start to unlock for you that aren't there if you just quickly put it through. Yeah. Okay, the nose, a little hotter maybe.
And now I'm getting more boiled candies or Jolly Ranchers.
The waxiness is tamped down. It's more of a neutral wax now. It's not the yummy Crayolas. Did you guys eat Crayolas when you were a kid? Did you ever take them?
Yes.
I never did.
My
Where is
people.
Andrew going to keep all of that collection in his New York apartment?
I don't
He does
know,
not
Mo.
know. But he does say you all are going to drive with it across country.
Oh, there you go.
Wow. I feel like we need to keep that secret though, right?
Right. Yeah. Especially the root. Yes.
Yeah, well, you'll have to rent another apartment for the whiskey. So you'll have to buy another condo like across the way or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Or just break it into the stairwell and lock it off.
So is it good with water? Should like the flavor? Should I try it?
Let me try the taste.
Because Monique is making faces and she looks like she likes it. Oh, look at her. I'm going to try it.
I'm not going to leave the witness, but I like it so much better with
Hey.
water.
I mean, I do have some of that sort of fad. I want to know what it does. You know?
It is good with water. I'm not sure I love it so much more, but I would say definitely try it with water.
For me, it absolutely changes it for the better. I get kind of a fancy artisanal root beer. There's some sassafrasy, rooty things in there.
In the finish, it's that root beer finish. Absolutely.
Yeah. Or cream soda.
Or cream. Yeah. That towards that end.
Cream soda would be, to me, it's overwhelmingly sweet. And it's hard to pull notes out of that, but I see where you're going.
Yeah, it's like if there was like you said, like a fancy cream soda. Like, you know how you get like ginger ale and then you have ginger beer and ginger beer is like, this is fucking ginger, motherfucker. Right? This is like if cream soda was like that. Like, here's cream soda. This is real cream soda.
Unapologetic cream soda.
Yeah.
Serious cream soda for the aficionados. Yeah.
Yeah. I do feel like that would be like the most artisanal specific drink that hipsters would have is like, I drink alcoholic cream soda. Like who like it's in the can already alcoholic, right? It's like,
yeah,
I wonder if it's hard cream soda. It's like an oxymoron on its face. You know?
Make it happen. Make it happen. Holy cow.
Absolutely.
With water, okay, yeah, it's brighter, it's more alive, and that little root beer cream soda finish is so yummy. Whew. Thad, what are you getting?
We got two more. Yeah, Thad, what's the deal? What's the story, Morning Glory?
Oh, I'm all on the water train. I much more enjoy it with water. I mean, the nose for me kind of killed off some of the notes that I like, but like the palate gives me exactly what I want. And also on the palate for me, like it, uh, some PD influences actually come through and they start like pushing you around, which is, something I want sometimes. So being bullied by whiskey.
No
Yep.
judgment.
Yep.
Yeah, those are all great notes. Yeah.
Oh, bullied by whiskey. That's what we should have called this one. Hey, number 4 here. Here we go. The 21. Here's the 21 Glen Scotia Malts Festival. It is a 10-year-old. We don't know the size of the run. We couldn't find it. If anyone has the internet and can find it, that'd be great. Don't know how many bottles they produced. It is a 56.1% first fill bourbon for 10 years, then 5 months in Bordeaux from Medoc. Red wine finish.
Once again, I'm just going to mention every time I hear something with wine, finished in wine, like I think of Zach, because he was like, I really like whiskey.
He likes the wine finishes.
Finished. And I'm like, I can't disagree with him. It creates some real interesting synergies. Yeah, there it is.
Got a great nose already. Wow.
That is amazing. Oh my God. Like that. Yeah, no, this nose kind of blows the last nose out of the water.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The last one was subtle. This is just right there. It's very accessible, very big, like big flowers that are in your face.
It does. Yeah. It's like a florist shop, or like you're at a wedding or a luau and there's a whole bunch of flowers there.
I'm kind of thinking of this like bowling somehow, in a very strange metaphor, that they start all their casks. All of these casks started out in bourbon. And so they were all rolling, but then there's this spin they put on at the end for the last 5 or 8 months, just like this little weird turn. And it sometimes it hits so well. Like the rum cask, we love that. And this
does smell to me like tropical Hawaiian flowers. Like it smells like,
all of that, then I get this weird note of dill, not quite dill pickle, but dill.
Dill weed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
It's so crazy.
I fucking love whiskey. It's so neat.
I fucking love whiskey.
So neat.
Which for me is one of my favorite things about Glen Scotia is in most of their stuff, you can get kind of that anisole note, right? Like fennel and star anise and anise and dill is in that family. So that to me tracks.
Like I haven't tasted this, but just based on the nose alone, I'm going to say this is my favorite whiskey. Based on the nose.
I'll agree with that.
Oh, by the way, I've been doing, I don't know if you can see the name on this one, Andrew.
No, I can't. Something rainbow gorse. No, I don't get it.
No, Neolithic.
Oh, Neolithic shit. We can say shit.
If I really get in there, it kind of smells like rubber cement.
Ooh.
Like really. Rubber cement was like the glue at school you didn't eat, but you put it on your fingers and rub it around,
I don't disagree.
Get that.
Yeah, get the little.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're tasting. That is a journey. That is a journey that hits a lot of places. I can't wait to take another sip of it because I feel like I went by too fast and I couldn't access everything that happened.
I feel like I was in a little French town at the farmer's market, and everybody had a little sample tray out of like, here's this little bakery thing, and here's this little wrapped bacon thing, and here's this little piece of fruit, and here's this. Yeah, the journey, like instantly, it was like I have just gone through so many different flavors.
I feel like it's not like a market, but like a street, like with like stalls where they're cooking food and stuff. You know what I mean? Where it's like fried and.
I'm getting a garden that's kind of bordered by jasmine, and I'm pulling out jasmine plants. I don't know why, but it's an orchard with peaches and nectarines and vegetables.
Yeah, it reminds me of Chuck, that TV show where he like gets all this spy stuff in his brain, but it happens all at once, like, and then later he like has to fucking unpack what it is. That's what this was.
You know, Andrew, I think there's still some of this left at K&L, and I might have to get some more bottles.
Yeah, I was just saying earlier too, it was interesting to see how the runs increased because, 2018, they had 2,400 bottles, 2019, 9,500, 2020, they had 15,000. 21, I couldn't find it, but I'm guessing somewhere between 15,000 and 24,000, which is the 22 run. So they're gaining in popularity. People are starting to notice them, and I think they're finding that they need to produce more to get the reach.
Yeah. And they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
They do. They really do.
Well, the master distiller here is also the master distiller at Loch Lomond Distillery, and they have the crazy science experiment of like so many different kinds of stills and so many different kinds of processes, and they produce so many varieties of stuff at Loch Lomond, and they're all great too. So, and I'm blanking on his name right now. He's Irish. I can't remember his name.
Well, kudos to him, and kudos to those who support his craziness.
I just want to say thank you to Monique for providing these and letting us take this Glen Scotia journey, because it's a good one. It's like a magical Willy Wonka of Scotch, and I'm having a real good time.
Mm-hmm. I think it was like 2018 or something when I think I had my very first Glen Scotia, and that to me just blows my mind. Like, how had I not really experienced them before?
Right. Well, you're welcome, Joseph. I fully believe that whiskey tastes better when shared. So,
yeah, I do love hearing everybody's tasting notes while I'm tasting it. Like, to me, that just, it's like, I don't know, like we're all in one brain, and I don't know. It's like we're Vulcan mind melding, Speaking of that, Thad, what do you got? You got some notes for this one yet?
Yes, I do. So these are going to be weird ones. Don't know what it is about this. I on the nose, I definitely agree with the dill. But also for me, I was getting some funk, like a nice blue cheese funk. I love blue cheese, so I love that type of like funkiness. Kind of like blue cheese, maybe gorgonzola, but stinky cheese. There we go, stinky cheese. I was getting like a nice like peppermint sweet, like subtle thing way in the back, along with some cinnamon and wool blankets, if you will.
Ooh.
And then on the palate, right off the bat, it reminded me of this sparkling grape juice that I used to have when I was younger on New Year's Eve, because obviously you don't give champagne to kids, but like that type of stuff that comes around once a year.
Why not?
Put them right to sleep. I
see the advantage of that, and yet still.
Yeah. And then I was getting some fake cinnamon extract. Like, it was hot, but it wasn't like spicy hot. It was like those like cinnamon candies that are like fake cinnamon hot for me on the palate. And then some pool noodles and some floral notes as well.
The styrofoam pool noodles, yeah.
Noodles, okay.
Yeah, pool noodles.
Or just styrofoam, like it definitely has some smells,
I'm thinking cold noodles because I'm craving them again. So
noodles.
Noodles.
And then on the finish, I definitely got some lavender. Like the floral notes condensed down to just being lavender for me.
I'm now getting lavender in the nose, and it could be just suggestibility on my part. Whiskey.
I never drank this.
Oh,
I did.
And I drank all of it.
Oh no, you poor man.
Monique, what do you have to say?
Wait, all of it. You didn't save any.
No, I have some in the bottle. Of the glass, I drank all of it.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't pour the whole ounce. No, 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 no.
I'm going to use an example that you probably mock me endlessly for, and I'm okay with that. But water takes it from a Keanu Reeves to an Adam Driver.
Is that a downgrade or like like a
lateral? We have no context for that. We don't.
I like Adam Driver. I like both of them. So to me, that seems like a lateral move. I don't know. You think it's a downgrade? All right. Well,
okay.
That's subjective.
I think so. Well, I mean,
it is a downgrade. All right. I mean, I love Keanu Reeves, but he's always Keanu Reeves. Like as a person, he's delightful, but like he's okay.
No, so
all right.
Before water, it was magnificent. With water, it's great. It's just
more angry, because that would be the difference between the two actors. Like, oh, just a little too intense. Is that?
Yeah.
Perhaps I made a bad analogy.
A little bit more Han Solo murdering. Mo agrees that it's a downgrade.
I mean,
thank you, Mo.
You go from John Wick to Han Solo. Well, that's an upgrade.
That's an upgrade, I think.
I'm sorry. No, Joseph, this is Harrison Ford.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
The 19. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Incomparable.
Have you watched Shrinking?
I watched the first episode and it's downloaded so I can watch it on the airplane on Tuesday.
It's my favorite thing that Harrison Ford has ever done.
Really?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Well, we'll have to look at that, Mo.
Yeah, because I feel like he's always kind of typecast as a certain person, and he really plays around in that role. You could, because it's a TV show and he does a lot of films. I feel like he's really playing around in there, and I like it.
Okay, fair enough.
Because what kind of arc does like Indiana Jones have? There's no arc there. Like it's just like I got the thing, and I look good doing it. You know,
and I didn't get killed. Yeah,
yeah, I know. His art, he's just a bunch of little arcs where it's like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. Oh, I didn't die. Like, you know,
I whipped some Nazi ass. Yes, I did.
Don't tell anyone. This is the internet, Mo. Everybody knows now.
Everyone knows now.
They can't delete it. It exists forever.
I am getting some.
Mo's son's name is Ford, by the way.
We called the dog Ford.
Nice. All right, that was a good Connery there.
Sorry, Monique. What?
No. I'm getting like baked peaches and nectarines on the nose a little bit, which is one of my favorite notes on anything. So
I guess I'll pour a little more into the glass.
It is like a baked good, like a very fruity baked good on the nose now with water.
Like a peach croissant.
More like a sponge cake, I would say, with fruit filling.
Not super hot.
This is with water, right? Should I put water in this?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
This one is okay to science.
Okay to science. I feel like there should be a big label on some whiskeys that says okay to science. And others should have like a test tube with like a thing like do not science under any circumstances. Okay, I like what the nose is doing.
These are all Campbeltown Malts festival bottles. This year's Campbeltown Malts Festival, by the way, they are doing a special Dunnage Warehouse cask tasting with your best bud, Andrew Charlie McLean, on the 24th, I think.
And that you have to get to Campbelltown to partake. No.
And there's no way to get there. It's like walking into Mordor. You can't get there.
You can't get there. Got to fly into Glasgow. You got to take the little puddle jumper. Yeah, it's a thing.
I mean, I've driven there before, so you can get there.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
Oh, I really like this with water.
I like this with water. Yeah.
And then every once in a while on a whiskey, I'll get like a note of not full on peanut or peanut butter, But like if you have the Spanish peanuts where the skins are still on, you get like the peanut skin, so it's kind of a drier, milder peanut taste. That's on the finish for me on this one.
Like, I don't partake as often, and I'm slightly buzzed right now, and I feel like it's giving me synesthesia. But this with water, it's more purple to me.
Nice. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yep.
How do you like your whiskey? I like it purple.
Can you put some more purple in, please? Do people with synesthesia, like, is there a correspondence? Like, does everybody who thinks something is purple is the same flavor, or is it like? That's a question I want to ask.
That's a good study to ask people. I don't know.
You know, I've described a lot of finishes as green before, so
Yeah.
I see a slight color to numbers.
Did Thad tell us what he thought with water?
I don't think so. That is?
I did not, because I hadn't tried it yet. After trying it, it's I don't have to have it with water. It's not bad. It's just like water has not destroyed any of these whiskeys for me. But
No.
it doesn't like make it extra good for me. Although I will say for you, Joseph, right off the bat without water, purple did come to mind on the palate for me. So
maybe there's some, valuable study to be had there.
Two synestheses agree.
Synesthetes is what they're called.
Synesthetes?
You have synesthesia, then you're a synesthete.
A synesthete.
One of those test words to see if you can pronounce it when you've had a little bit of alcohol.
Right.
I have a suggestion.
Hang on.
Maybe
I'm just going to put synesthete
as I thought I was.
I'm just going to put it into my spelling bee to see if that's one of the words. I think it's a spelling bee word. I think it is.
It is not. I have a suggestion for another episode for you all. The color of whiskey. Because Joseph has purple. There are green. I'm sure there's others.
I've used green. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to do a lot of pre-samples to find out what whiskeys bring us to colors, though.
I think whiskeys that evoke a color. I think that would be a really interesting show to have. Is like this. Yeah, this whiskey really evokes a color for me. It is, I think, time to get to our the saddest whiskey, which is our final whiskey.
It's always the saddest whiskey. Always the saddest whiskey. This one isn't open, so fortunately, I get to try Monique's first. This is the new one, the 2022, I guess last year's 8-year-old Campbeltown Malts Festival, 56.5%. First fill bourbon, then peated PX Pedro Jimenez. That is finished for 12 months.
This is the darkest one, I think, of the ones we've had, right?
Well, I think pretty close. It's a sherry cask finish.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that doesn't smell like a sherry cask to me.
You think?
Oh my God, that smells. This reminds me of the rum cask a bit, but it's smoother.
So here's the thing with this.
This smells more peaty to me. This smells more peaty.
Sorry, Monique, what was that?
No, it's my second favorite of all 5.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a really good. I could tell from the nose this is going to be a good journey.
Mm-hmm.
But I can get PX from this. I can get to the Pedro Jimenez in the nose.
I don't know. This is so savory and like not sweet at all, and just like rich, like chocolate without any sugar in it, or leather, or stained wood. It's
not the candy store that we usually get from a sherried whiskey. That's not this. But it is, it was only 12 months in the thing. So in the sherry cask, it's that chocolatey sweetness, that bitter sweetness.
It's like the root cellar in Evil Dead. If the evil undead grandmother was actually delightful.
Yes.
And not horrible and scary.
Yes, the cuddly dead.
That, the
cuddly dead.
I was gonna buy you a mockingbird, but it was like, she was cuddly and
genuine, delightful. Yeah.
Like before she turned into the monster.
Yeah. This is my favorite whiskey. I can tell from the nose. This is
I'm gonna agree. I agree. On the nose. Yeah.
Wow. I fucking love whiskey, guys. Oh, you're tasting.
Holy motherfucker.
Okay, you know how sometimes in movies you get those really quick cuts and it's all like the universe is exploding? This.
This tastes like Lefroy to me, like a really high quality, like one that's like, oh, we didn't make much of this, and it doesn't completely fit our flavor profile, but it has that same sort of like, I don't know,
that sherry peatedness. Like this feels like it's peated to higher than just 15.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to go on a little limb here and say this ppm is probably a lot higher than the others that we've had.
Yeah.
Considering the last one we had was unpeated, so.
And 56%. So this is like slightly less than the first one. Man,
this is fantastic.
This is so much my favorite whiskey. This was a really good journey.
This could be mistaken for an Islay. Like if you put this in front of me and I agree with Joseph here. If you'd put this in front of me blind, I would have said, "Oh, we're going to Islay here."
Yeah.
Agreed. Wow.
But not an Ardbeg.
No.
Yeah, it could be a Colila too. Like, but I feel like if that's pushing it, I feel like to me this is more like a kind of the Lafroig area.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with a sherry cask influence on the Lafroig. I can see it being one of those. A little bit too peated for a Bowmore,
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. And a little more, okay, this is going to sound really bad, and I'm pretty sure they're going to kick me out the next time I walk in their door, but it's a little too interesting to be a Kilhoman.
They're going to find this clip, and when you walk in, someone's going to lift up their phone and go like, "Is this you?
Oh.
Is this you? Too interesting to be Kilhoman. Get out."
Does some wonderful things. They do. Like I love some of their stuff, but this is way more complex than that.
Yeah, and I agree. Like I like Kilhoman, but I feel like they've got a very specific pocket. They're not being wild. They really know this is what you're delivering, because it's like X% bourbon, X% sherry. That's all they do, and they just they're not like adjust the percentages.
They're not pushing the boundaries. They're not experimenting.
You don't have a mad scientist behind the wheel.
No.
Yeah. Whereas Glen Scotia, I feel like they definitely are. Like just based on this alone, like this was such a journey of flavors, and you can see also the progression of them, like being like, oh, that worked. Let's try something crazier.
Exactly. Like we like this one. Let's do more of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, if I may, I'd like to give a shout out to my human version of the Glen Scotia Campbeltown Malts Festival 2019 Best Whiskey Ever, to Kevin, who tuned in. So
hello, Kevin. Thank you.
Hi, Kevin. Oh, we just lost a viewer. What? Kevin was shy.
I don't want to be acknowledged.
Unsurprising. No.
Thank you, Monique. This is so good.
I can't see a bit more than the 19, but my God, is it close?
Thad, what do you think of this? What are your words?
It is delicious. I think this is the best one of the night for me, really. But I mean, it's PX finish, so like, of course, it's going to be one of my favorites. For me on the nose, I was getting some pasta water mixed in with a nice seafood boil. It's very savory, and I definitely get like the dark cocoa nib bitterness on top of that. Beyond that, it reminds me of like what standing on top of like an oceanside cliff is. Like it's not just like full brininess, but like you get wisp and wasp of salt and with like fresh air, right?
Push through like a moss and other vegetation as it comes up.
Yeah. So it's not just like straight seawater. It's like, yeah, you're there, but there's a lot more than just the ocean right here. And then the palate for me, it was real crazy. It was wild, wacky, zany, zip zap zooey, just wild. I loved it.
Was that a Community reference right there?
Yeah, it is.
All right.
If you're not streets ahead,
I'm definitely not streets behind. So
But yeah, no, it was great. And the other few things I could pick out was it was like ice water, like really crystal clear ice water
In the
on the
palate?
palate. Yeah, in the
Really?
palate. Along with like this singed wood, not burnt wood, not charred wood. It's very hard to describe. Um, it's like before it becomes, burnt, like toasted wood, I guess, really, lightly toasted wood.
Lightly toasted? Okay.
And
Like
it
that.
it also reminded me of toothpicks as well. Just sitting in there and just chewing on toothpicks. So
It reminds me of burning driftwood, like when it's just like, starting to catch fire.
I get the fresh air and standing on a cliff.
I can't get the
But
drinking from a cold stream. I'm not there.
no, it's too layered and complex for that.
Has anyone put water in this, and is anyone
No,
going
not
to?
yet.
Is
No.
the question. Because I don't want to. I'm scared to. Don't make angry faces at me.
I mean,
You
I did
brought
it.
up-
Yeah, chat.
Yeah.
What are the Thad? What's the story, Morning Glory?
I mean, I would say that it kills off the nose, but for the palate, it definitely like hones it into something really savory and like peat heavy. Like it is mouth watering. The mouth, it leaves your mouth watering good. Like palate for me.
Mhm.
I don't know. The nose is so amazing.
It is so good as it is. No, I'm going to say no.
All right.
Yeah, I'm also going to say I fucking love whiskey.
What a surprise.
I know. Just a
What are the odds?
50-50?
what a
50-50. Anything I say is going to come out. I fucking love whiskey versus any other sentence.
I mean, if we did like a statistical breakdown of all the things you've said, I think that might be inaccurate, but okay.
I think it's pretty accurate. I don't know. I guess I don't say it a lot when I'm at work. I guess that's true.
Even during the show, it's not 50-50. Like, I mean, that'd be a pretty boring show if that was half of the stuff you said.
Well, as an actor, let me say that the subtext that I have running is always that.
All right. Well, if you're going to say subtext, I mean, that's always my subtext.
It's not a fancy word. Okay, so should I science this or not?
It depends. How much do you like the nose? I think is the takeaway. You said it kills the nose, but it does some cool stuff to the flavor.
Back up. Never mind.
I think because you have a bottle, why not try it once? And if you hate it, you can write a personal note to never trust me again with water.
Well, here's the thing, Thad. Like, you have some pretty amazing descriptions. Like, you've got a great nose and a great palate. So I love hearing what you have to say. So I will mostly trust you with water, except for when it comes to the Malts Festival 2019.
Not going to happen. Yeah.
Not going to happen there.
Okay. I get more funkiness in the nose after water here.
I get more wood, freshly sawn wood.
Oh, decay and vegetation.
Oh, it definitely kills the nose for me. There's like a weird rotted forest smell in there.
That's that decay.
Which I like the decay, yeah, but it's real shy.
It's not what it was. Mm-hmm. That original nose was phenomenal.
Oh yeah, no water.
Oh yeah, no, the finish turns a different direction. Yeah.
Thank goodness I have more of it.
Yeah. I liked what it did before the finish, though. No, I really liked the journey. Like, it really, to me, it all the flavors became more accessible until it got to the finish.
Ooh. Oh.
You know what, guys? You know what?
No, don't know what.
I fucking love whiskey.
What's the point of even asking the question during the show? Like, I feel like, we already know the answer.
I don't know if we know the answer. I think for science, we have to ask because the previous statements have been just like ad hoc ad hominem statements. They haven't really been under interrogation. And I think under interrogation, people may tend to recant, may tend to feel differently. So I think there's a science to asking.
Wow, Andrew just turned into a lawyer there for a second. That was a lot of, on the party of the first part must in the admit to the party of the second part whether their love for whiskey is in fact consummate and true based on the pre-conditioning. I don't know.
Yes, based on their placing of the hand upon the Bible or any book that they hold to be sacred. In this case, the Great Book of Whiskey.
Well,
Monique.
all I know is Chloe would like treats. But
oh yes, well, Chloe would always like treats.
Yeah.
She's a treat girl. She's a cute little kitty. Monique, it is now time to officially put your decision into the books. And your earlier remarks tended to indicate where we think you're going to answer this, but I don't think we can take it as a given that what you said earlier was a definitive answer.
Yes, we must have a true and complete and definitive explanation of your feelings to this beverage. All right. And it must be based on whether in the context of whether you like it. Do you let us say for the sake
in fact
show, do you in fact like whiskey?
Well, I will say this reminds me of a time about a year ago when Andrew handed me his phone and said, "Can you record this?" And he asked a very similar question to a different person. And they took
Mr. Charlie McLean
15 minutes to answer and never once said the phrase, "I fucking love whiskey." So, Joseph, I fucking love whiskey.
There you have it. There it is. It's the proof.
There it is.
Finally, definitively now in the books, we appreciate your answer to that. Party time.
I appreciate you inviting me back. Thank you.
Listen, any guest that wants to come with their own bottles to sample, we're all for that as well.
Noted.
Yeah, because we fucking love whiskey, and we like to see what other people like too.
And we'd like to wear that on our sleeve that we do love it, and we love to see what other people love. And honestly, Glen Scotia has risen so much in my books, and it's kind of one of those overlooked distilleries that you can still get at a reasonable price. It's not like we just heard this week that K&L is going to stop stocking Ardbeg because they have gotten too expensive, and I tend to agree that like now Ugadal is going up to like
all of Ardbeg, really everything, even like Wee Beastie.
Wow, that's what they're saying. So maybe Wee Beastie stays there. I don't know, because it is still a great price for $45. But they're 19-year-old bottles going for like $660, and their outturns, their committee releases now being like just insane amounts of money and not being great. Like the early roller coaster or the early supernovas were just phenomenal, and lately some of the releases have been like, yeah, that's nice, but it's not what it was. And so that's tough, because I fucking love Ardbeg too. So
yeah, me too. I will mention at some point, probably later tonight, I'm gonna stream on my own channel playing video games. If you're interested in that, if you want to see me do that after drinking all these whiskeys, I don't know if it's going to be entertaining for you. Probably not.
I think it will be. You'll be like trying to make friends with the beasts, going, "I love you. You're a great beast. Why are you fighting me? Don't hit me."
There's only murdering the beasts. I've murdered so many beasts that I know that's what I have to do. But
that's what you do.
But yeah, I'm overdroid, like it sounds. If you want to do that,
like it says there right underneath his face.
It says it under my face.
Yes.
Oh, well, there you go.
So follow him on the Twitch and see him streaming later tonight. There it is. It's in the chat too. Monique, thank you so much for being a guest and bringing the whiskey. Joseph, thanks for being tremendously awesome.
Thank you for being tremendously awesome, Andrew. I don't think anyone ever says that, so I just want to put that out there as well.
That's because I'm not tremendously awesome. So no.
Yeah, you are. You do a lot of work on this show. You do a lot of work.
You know, the only reason I do it is because I fucking love whiskey. And like Monique said earlier, whiskey is best when shared and you can discuss it and you can say, this is what I'm experiencing. Are you getting this? Are you getting this? Are you getting this? Like that is the joy of whiskey for me. Like being alone and sipping it, like I'll have 1 dram and then I'll be like done. But like with you guys, I can sit and taste 4 or 5 and like it's amazing. It's so great. So and thank you everyone who watched and chatted and everyone who's watching in the future. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment below, but just to, show engagement. That would really help us with the YouTubes. And we'll see you on the next show.
Solange.
Solange, everybody.